Hello, Sweet Spuds. Join me because I have so many Spuds sweet, delicious potato recipes for y'all. Join me today on Soflo Taste and don't miss the Spuds. How fun is that? Good morning, all. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein coming to you from the Goya Kitchen at Junior Achievement of South Florida in Coconut Creek. Do you often eat a sweet potato? Well, I'm guessing not that often. Did you know that a sweet potato has more going for it than its much paler cousin? So today I thought it would be fun to give you recipes that put this tuberous root in the spotlight. So let's get cooking. The first thing we're gonna make is sweet potato chili. I've got my sweet potatoes right here. They've been peeled and kind of a big old dice, and we're just gonna jump right in. I created this recipe for Sweet Liberty, which is one of our bars that serve really delicious food. And everybody wanted a vegetarian sweet potato dish, so here you go. So I'm gonna start with a little bit of olive oil. Let's get all of our aromatics going. We've got some tiny dice of yellow onion, mushrooms, which are really important for that umami, that lovely, deep, savory flavor. Just a little bit of garlic. And let's start stirring as we add them in because we don't want to burn anything on the bottom of our pan. As you can see, I'm using a cast iron pan, which you really want to do when you're making things like chili because it holds the heat and it just cooks everything a little more evenly. Next, I'll add a tiny mince of carrot. I've got some bell pepper. This is green, but you can use whatever color you want. A really small cut on celery. Chilies, whatever you fancy. These happen to be serranos, but you can go a little lighter with a jalapeno or a little more intense with a habanero. Keep stirring that around. The most important thing that we are cooking in this pot right now happens to be the mushroom because we want the mushroom to be fully cooked and release its delicious juices. Okay, let's go ahead and add the spices. We've got smoked paprika and regular paprika, chili powder and cumin, oregano. Give it another few stirs. Okay, now I'll add the most important ingredient, which is the sweet potato. All right, let's start with the tomato products. We've got tomato paste, like I always talk about, you want to make sure you cook out your tomato paste onto the bottom of the pan, coating all the vegetables. It gives it a lovely hue and a very delicate amount of tomato flavor. It's already starting to look pretty somehow. Okay. Next, we're going to add some chopped tomatoes from a can. Do you like beans or do you not like beans? If you want to add a little added protein, you add some beans. I love pink beans. They're probably my favorite for chili. But you can use black instead or white, it's up to you, or no beans at all. A lot of people prefer the no bean, but because this is vegetarian, I went ahead and added the beans for a little of that extra protein, as well as creaminess from the bean. Here I've got my favorite hot sauce for chili. This one is Cholula, but it's up to you what hot sauce you like. All right. getting to the liquids now. As you see, we keep getting juicier as we go. So now I'm gonna add a bottle of beer. Totally up to you, whatever beer you want. A lot of people love darker beers because of the sweet potato. You know, it has that kind of a deep, darker flavor, the sweetness, but I don't care, whatever you have at home can be fine. We actually just had non-alcoholic beer with us today, so I threw that in for flavor. Lastly, we're gonna add some V8. Water if needed. So obviously the sweet potatoes and veggies need to cook, but we also want this to become a nice thick chili. So we're not gonna go too crazy with the water. This part's a little bit weird. These are amino acids. And this adds a bit of a rich flavor. It almost gives it like a meatiness to the chili. And that is it. I'm gonna add the tiniest bit of salt, but I don't add too much salt at the beginning because it will reduce down. We don't want it to get salty. I'm gonna let this go. And when you come back, I've got more beautiful sweet potato recipes, including breakfast and of course dessert. And our chili should be nearly done. I'll see you in a minute. SoFloShows.com is a great place to celebrate the food of South Florida. It's also the place to ask me a question or make a comment, especially a good comment. Again, SoFloShows.com.
Come back to SoFlo Taste from the Goya Kitchen at Junior Achievement of South Florida.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. The boiled sweet potato beats the skin off regular potatoes in vitamin C, magnesium, calcium, iron, and phosphorus. No matter how notorious they are, let's get back to making them delicious. So speaking of delicious, I have a beautiful sweet potato hash we're gonna make now. So I started to render bacon in this pan earlier, but not just regular bacon. I've got the most beautiful bacon, and check out these gorgeous eggs. I went over to see my friends at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, and they always make me look so good. By the way, you need to just subscribe to their emails to be the first to learn about special events, new items, and their weekly specials. Go to Delaware.com and scroll down to the subscribe section on the homepage. And remember, they're donating 10 cents for every pound of poultry breasts products sold during October. Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is over at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. Call them at 954-983-6831. Place an order or go in and see them. Ask them for some inspiration and tell them Chef Michelle sent you. All right, so get your rendered bacon going. I took out the bacon because I want it to be crispy. If we were to leave it in there, it would get a little soggy. So here's the bacon, and in there, I've got its delicious fat. For that fat, that's gonna be the base to obviously cooking my sweet potatoes. These are sweet potatoes that have been peeled in big chunks, and I'm just gonna add them in to that bacon fat. If you don't like eating bacon, if you don't eat bacon or you're a vegetarian, you can just start either butter or oil to cook the sweet potatoes for your breakfast. By the way, sausage would also work beautifully in here. So whichever way you like to go in the morning, go for it. So once you've basically added your sweet potatoes to the bacon, they start absorbing all that delicious flavor and fat. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of red onion. It's a little bit shorter than a julienne because I don't want anything too long in this hash. I want everything to be about the same size. I'm gonna do the same thing with the yellow peppers. All right. So you can add hash to the side of any breakfast, but I personally love a fried egg on top of my hash. So I've got my eggs ready for when the hash is ready, and we will fry a couple for the top of this. A little bit of garlic. The hash is going to be the opposite of the sweet potato, where this was just a huge list of a lot of ingredients. This is a short list to get to delicious. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of scallion. And that's almost it. Next is just some herbs and then the bacon back in as soon as it's done. I've got some picked parsley leaves right here. I have some sage, because I love sage with sweet potato, but I also love it in my hash. A little hint of rosemary if you're in the mood for it. And a little bit of thyme. I'm gonna get lazy and chop all of these things together in one. Now the only thing we're waiting for to cook in the hash is the actual sweet potato. Everything else can be a little crunchy. You know, it doesn't have to be totally mushy. It will get very soft in the pot with the sweet potato, but the sweet potato is really the only thing that we're worried about to be fully cooked. Not that you can't eat it a little undercooked, you can, but let's face it, the sweetness of the sweet potato comes out with the full cooking of it. All right, so we've got our lovely herbs here that I'll add right at the end. Let's see how we're doing. All right, we're gonna let this cook and we're gonna serve our chili. So I know the chili is vegan, but I have to eat it with sour cream and cheese. That's making it vegetarian. I hope that's okay and I don't offend you all. Obviously, there's definitely vegan cheese and vegan sour cream in the world. And for those of you that do respect vegan, by all means, go for it. And this beautiful chili smells so good. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the juice right over the top. And look how pretty this turned out. Just gorgeous. All right, our first dish is done. Our second dish is on its way. And when you come back, the best one. So don't be gone for too long.
Can't remember what I topped my ceviche with or the recipe for my mother's flan? Go to SoFloShows.com and look it up. You'll find every recipe from apple crisp to zabaglione and everyone in between. That's SoFloShows.com. SoFlo Taste will return right after this.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. As usual, I'm coming to you from Junior Achievement of South Florida. It's a great educational venue and resource for our kids. For more information, visit jasouthflorida.org or call 954-979-7100. And thank you to all our friends here. Now back to something sweet. Okay, everybody, our hash is ready. Our eggs go right over the top, like so. And don't forget about that bacon. We've got the crispy bacon. And this is just delicious. What a great breakfast. Oh, that hash is really good. And those herbs just took it to another level. All right, everybody, let's start with one of my favorite sweet desserts. It's kind of like is it dessert? Is it breakfast? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's delicious and it has sweet potatoes. First thing I'm gonna do though is teach you how to make the little kind of topping. It's like a glaze and it's a pecan glaze. So I've got brown sugar, powdered sugar, and white sugar, butter, and evaporated milk. I'm gonna warm that up a little bit, and I will add some pecans to it. All right, so let's move over here and get going on our sweet potato. It's kind of like a combination of a quick bread cake. Let's call it a quick bread. Anyway, let's go ahead and add the butter to my mixer and cream some sugar in there. Let that go until everything really comes together and gets really nice and fluffy, and the butter gets a little bit lighter in color. To that, I'm going to add eggs one by one into the mix. When it becomes homogeneous looking, I'll add the next and then the next. I'm going to stop a second just to push down all the butter and the sugar that have come up and risen up the bowl. You always want to clean your sides as much as you can. All right, let's keep going. Okay, last one. We're going to add vanilla, zest of an orange, then we're going to start adding our sweet potato that we wrapped in foil and baked until really, really soft. We peeled it, of course, and this is what we got out of it. While that's going, I'm going to go ahead and combine all-purpose flour, baking powder to rise, and then some of my favorite warm spices for fall flavors and sweet potatoes. We've got cinnamon, nutmeg, and ground ginger. Make sure that gets really well combined before we add it to the mix. Let's add it to our butter and sweet potato. And before I mix it, I'm going to go ahead and take a rubber spatula and combine so that we don't get flour in the face, but also we don't want to lose any of our flour. Push down everything that comes up the sides of the bowl. Make sure you get rid of everything from your rubber spatula. Okay. Combine until that just comes all together. Let's check on our pecans. We're looking for this to turn a little bit more golden brown. It's almost there. And our sweet potato mix is done. Look how gorgeous this is. It's a beautiful mix. That just goes into a loaf pan. So once it's cooked, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, it is just beautiful. This one baked this morning. When you come back, we're going to pair it with the pecan sauce. So don't go too far away because you don't want to miss it.
For more information on today's show or to see a recent SoFlo Taste episode, please go to our website, sofloshows.com. There you can find everything SoFlo Taste. Stay tuned to SoFlo Taste. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. Our sweet potato cake is out of the oven. I think we should cut it in half first and see how it does. Oh yeah, look how beautiful that is. Let's cut ourselves a slice. It is really soft and crumbly and beautiful. And here is our pecan glaze. It's really kind of almost like a candied pecan, and it goes beautifully. Well, I sure hope I gave y'all some sweet recipes that you hadn't thought of already. Sweets really are versatile. You've got to give them a try. There's a chill in the air. Well, it's SoFlo chill, and that means it's soup and sandwich season. Join me back here next week because coincidentally, I'm making soups and sandwiches. And I bet I got some recipes that will be new to you. But don't worry, I also have the classics of all classics.
Tomato soup and grilled cheese.
Calm down, all. Let's let it be our secret. Now let's say good morning to Hunter Frankie, host of SoFlo Health. Good morning, Hunter. What have you got going on tomorrow for us?
Michelle, you know I love sweet potatoes, but tomorrow on SoFlo Health, we're doing Pilates, which is what I'm doing right now. And besides the Pilates, we're also going to show you how to take good care of your Achilles tendon so that you don't injure it with Dr. Cooper. And if you like juices but don't know where to start, don't worry, we're going to get started with them tomorrow.
Okay, my dear, we'll be watching. So, Taste Buds, thanks for watching, and please take care of yourselves, and I will see you here next week. Goodbye, mwah, and good taste. How sweet potato it is.